Hello, my name is Ali Hazimi, and I've gathered you here all today to retell the origins and significance of the month of fasting in the Islamic religion, also known as Ramadan. Fasting is one of the 5 pillars in the Islamic culture, and it is something a Muslim should take to fulfill one of their obligations of the pillars. Ramadan is not to be deprived of food or water or to be miserable, but it's much more beautiful than that. It is self-sacrificial, for it improves the mind, the body, and the soul. And a Muslim should strive for spiritual, physical, and mental renewal. Ramadan not only tests self-control, but it allows for a Muslim to gain righteousness by achieving one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Islam is one of the largest growing religions with 1.6 billion followers, and most Muslims who actively practice the faith will participate in Ramadan. That's nearly 25% of the world not eating around the same time for this particular month. So today we're going to talk about what Ramadan is, the importance and the benefits, and then we're going to take a look inside the typical day during Ramadan. First, let's talk about what Ramadan is. Fasting is one of the 5 main pillars, as I mentioned earlier. The other 4 are 5 daily prayers, confession of faith, almsgiving, and Hajj, which is a visit to the holy city of Mecca. In the Quran, it states to eat and drink, but not to exceed the bounds. This is a way of God saying to live in a moderate fashion. Also quoted in the Islamic Bulletin, it states that God says that fasting has been written down upon you as an obligation, for it has been for others before you. Fasting obviously means not to eat or drink during the day. So during Ramadan, fast will be broken once the sun goes down. Ramadan should be celebrated with gatherings and feasts as the sun goes down, and then Muslims will be up again before the sun comes up. Gatherings should include eating with not only friends and family, but it should be celebrated with the ones less fortunate as well. Ramadan occurs during the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, and since the Islamic lunar calendar is 10 to 11 days shorter than the regular solar year, Ramadan will then migrate throughout the seasons over time. For instance, in 2014, Ramadan took place on June 29th and ended July 27th, and in 2015, it will be on June 18th and end on July 16th. Ramadan will officially begin with the sighting of the moon for the particular day that it falls on. Now let's talk about some of the importance and the significance of Ramadan. Ramadan refrains from eating and drinking of the day. This isn't God's way of punishing you, for fasting is beneficial and self-cleansing to the body. It is a time to appreciate what's been given to us, and also asked for in Scripture to do so as well. Ramadan also refrains from smoking, drinking, the use of drugs, and any other ill-mannered activity, including sex. But what does it really mean to fast? To the active Muslim that practices Ramadan, it gains a sense of humbling, and is to be grateful and ultimately carry out God's will. It is for people to come together and worship God, to carry out what He asks of you during the day, and to celebrate with those that are less fortunate and your friends at night. Now let's take a look at the daily life of what it's like during Ramadan. During Ramadan, a Muslim will go all day without food or water, and then they will break their fast with the sunset prayer, followed by dinner, also known as iftar. After that, they will most likely go to a local mosque for congregational prayers. There, they will listen to 1/30th of the Quran, so that after the 30 days of Ramadan, they've gone over the entire book. Ramadan should be taken and done daily with the right intentions. It shouldn't be looked at as the negative aspects, as going hungry or thirsty, but it should be looked at as something that you are doing for your God. If you do not fall under the exemption list as a Muslim, you should participate no matter what, and we'll get to that in a second. Ramadan is a special time for friends and family to come together and also to eat with those less fortunate, and not to complain when there are children who starve every day. Those who exempt are a child who hasn't hit puberty yet, mentally challenged, long or short-term condition, those who are sick, women on their monthly cycle, women who are pregnant, the homeless or travelers, and those who also obviously don't practice the religion. So there you have it. We went over the general facts and when Ramadan occurs. We talked about the significance and the importance, and we also did a walkthrough on the daily routine of a Muslim during Ramadan. Ramadan not only tests self-control, but allows for a Muslim to gain righteousness by achieving one of the 5 pillars in the Islamic religion. We as humans are so used to getting what we want, and the average American eats 3 meals a day, while other children around go with none. Ramadan is a time to refrain from everyday temptations. Ramadan is not only recognizing and fulfilling one of the 5 pillars of Islam, but it is having it in your heart to go without for just a fraction of the time that some struggle for their whole lives. This is just a taste of how hard it is for others that are less fortunate than us. Once that you humble yourself, you'll start to figure out all the little things that we take for granted every day. But isn't it ironic that in a religion that is thought to be so violent, now finding out how these people are so willing to sacrifice for the sole purpose of serving their God? Just like you have good and bad people of all religions, maybe now you won't think all Muslims are monsters.